The rise and fall of the Vanderbilts, from fortune to ruin. During America's Gilded Age, wealthy families like the Vanderbilts reshaped the economic, social, and physical landscape of the United States. However, being rich didn't guarantee that their wealth would last forever. The Vanderbilts, once sitting at the pinnacle of financial and social status, eventually fell from grace, losing their vast fortune. So how did they lose it all? In this video, we're diving into how the famous Vanderbilt family squandered their massive wealth. But before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting us know which famous families you'd like us to cover next. Let's kick off this fascinating story of riches to rags. The Vanderbilt family originally came from the Netherlands, immigrating to the US in the late 1600s. They lived quietly as farmers until Cornelius Vanderbilt, known as Commodore, made his mark in the early 19th century. Born in 1794, Cornelius borrowed $100 from his parents when he was just 16, equivalent to about $2,800 today, and purchased a small boat. He used it to ferry goods between Staten Island and Manhattan, quickly earning $1,000 in his first year, which would be around $20,000 today. Cornelius was a natural businessman, and within a few years he secured contracts to supply U.S. outposts during the War of 1812. By the end of the war, he had made $10,000 transporting people and goods, and by the 1820s he partnered with steamboat owner Thomas Gibbons to ferry passengers between New York and New Jersey. This partnership defied a state monopoly on shipping, which led to the landmark 1824 Supreme Court case Gibbons versus Ogden, ensuring federal control over interstate commerce. Thanks to this ruling, Cornelius's business thrived, bringing in around $40,000 a year, equivalent to $1.2 million today. After Gibbons' death, Cornelius took full control of their company and expanded aggressively. By the late 1850s, he had branched out into railroads, establishing monopolies much like he had done in shipping. His rail empire stretched across the country, revolutionizing the industry and boosting his wealth tremendously. Despite his immense fortune, Cornelius wasn't known for his philanthropy. He donated $1 million to find what would later become Vanderbilt University, but he mostly focused on expanding his empire. When he died in 1877, he left the bulk of his $105 million fortune to his son, William Henry Vanderbilt, famously advising him, "Any fool can make a fortune. It takes a man of brains to hold on to it." William Henry expanded the family fortune to over $200 million, even more than the U.S. Treasury at the time, but divided it among his 8 children when he passed away. This is when the extravagant spending began. His eldest son, Cornelius Vanderbilt II, built the opulent Breakers Mansion in Rhode Island, while his brother William Kissam Vanderbilt commissioned the famous Petit Chateau in New York City. The family also owned numerous other grand properties, including the Biltmore Estate in North Carolina. Lavish spending didn't stop there. The Vanderbilts became known for hosting extravagant parties, like the infamous Vanderbilt Ball, thrown by Alva Vanderbilt in 1883, which cost the modern equivalent of $6 million. These grand events solidified the family's place in high society. However, despite their wealth, the Vanderbilts were never able to maintain the financial discipline of their patriarch. By the early 20th century, the family fortune began to decline as they sold off assets, including railroad shares, to cover their extravagant lifestyles. The rise of cars, buses, and airplanes diminished the railroad industry, further eroding the family's wealth. By the mid-20th century, no Vanderbilt was among the wealthiest people in America. One of the most famous later-generation Vanderbilts was Gloria Vanderbilt, who went on to become a successful fashion designer despite her family's financial decline. Her son, CNN anchor Anderson Cooper, has famously stated that he will not inherit any family wealth, believing that inherited money can be more of a curse than a blessing. And that brings us to the end of the Vanderbilt fortune. What do you think? Which part of their story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching this video. Before we end the video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.